Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiv Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So coming to our Bhagavad Gita discussion on weekends. So last time we discussed till chapter 2, text 49. So we'll try to cover 4 verses today till text 53. From 54 onwards, new theme starts. So text 50, chapter 2. Buddhi yukto jahati ha ubesu kriddushkrite tasmad yogaya yujyasva yogaha karam sukoshalam. So far, Krishna is talking about Buddhi Yoga. And what Prabhupada translated Buddhi Yoga is, he said, one who has intelligence, he will be engaged in devotion service of the Lord. So ultimately, Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna is saying, Buddhi Yukto Jahatihi Ubhed Sukrit Dushkrite Tasmad Yogaya Yujyasva Yogaha Karamsu Koshalam. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. So other day we were discussing in Bhagavatam verse about how can a person engage in bhakti can rid of prarabdha, aprarabdha, bija and kuta reactions. So here Krishna also says he rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in life. So means the prarabdha, aprarabdha, everything, they can be removed. Therefore strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. In purport provides, since time immemorial, each living entity has accumulated the various reactions of his good and bad work. So he rids himself of both good and bad reactions. Why? Why not only in the bad reactions? Why good reactions also gone? The reason the good reactions are also gone, because Krishna doesn't want us to come back even to have so-called enjoyment. The so-called enjoyment, I said, because in the material world, everything actually leads to misery. Even if we are enjoying, we might commit some sinful acts for which we have to suffer bad reactions. So it will lead to, ultimately it will lead to misery. And moreover, even if somebody is enjoying in the material world, the very fact he is in the material world and is away from Krishna, that is miserable for him. That both good and bad actions, everything is gone. It means there is nothing holding us back into the material world if we engage in the devotional service. As such, he is continuously ignorant of his real constitutional position. One's ignorance can be removed by the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches one to surrender unto Lord Shri Krishna in all respects and become liberated from the chained victimization of action and reaction, birth after birth. Arjuna is therefore advised to act in Krishna consciousness, the purifying process of resultant action. So this bhakti, when we surrender unto Krishna, then we become liberated from the chained victimization of action and reaction. So it's a chain. We get bound up by chains. It is said, even if somebody is in mode of goodness, he is bound up by a chain of gold. If somebody is in mode of passion, he is bound up by chain of silver. And if somebody is in mode of ignorance, he is bound up by chain of iron. But no matter what it is, we are still bound up. So a person in mode of goodness might feel that I am satisfied, I am fully content, I am very happy with my position. But no matter, he is still bound up by the chain of gold. And he is still bound up. not world yet. He could be taking birth more. It's quite. And Krishna says, therefore strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. The real essence of work is yoga. And actually, once I was listening to our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and he quoted this verse. So that's why this verse got stuck in my mind. He just quoted one part of this verse, which says, Yoga karmasu koshalam. So he translated it, or he explained it in a different way. He said, Karmsu Koshlam. Karmsu means doing the work. Koshal means in a proper way. And yoga. So he is saying, doing your activities properly, doing the karma with Koshal properly is yoga. He explained it the other way. Meaning he is just trying to make people do the work properly. And he says yoga. Really, it is not yoga. It's not even karma yoga. Yoga means to link with the Supreme. Just by doing any activity we cannot link ourselves with the Supreme. The rest three part of the word is buddhi yukto jahati. Buddhi yukto means engage in devotional service, and that yoga is the perfection of all work. Not doing our work properly, honestly, intelligently, whatever adjectives we can use, is yoga. And he gave example, and somehow this example got stuck in my mind. He said many years ago he was traveling by train, and in the train he saw one boy who used to polish boots. He got up on the train and he was polishing boots of all the passengers, and he had a newspaper in his hand, the latest newspaper, current newspaper, and he would give the newspaper to the person he was polishing the boots of. So while the person was getting his boots polished, he was also reading a free newspaper for the time being, for 10-15 minutes. So, and then when the boy goes to the next person, he takes the newspaper, takes the money and goes to the next person, polishes the boot in the newspaper to read. So Prime Minister Modi, at that time, obviously he wasn't the Prime Minister, he said, I was very impressed by this boy's way of selling his boot polishing techniques, or the marketing of his boot polishing. And he got it because he was working very nicely in his activity of boot polishing, because he was attracting the customers by giving them free newspaper. Of course, he wasn't giving them for good, he was just lending them for polishing boots. But Modi ji was very, very impressed. And he said, this is yoga. Doing the work properly is yoga. But no, this is not what the verse says. Verse says, yoga, the perfection of all work is yoga. And the perfection of all work is when engages in individual service of the Supreme Lord. By polishing boots, that boy is not getting connected with Krishna. Of course, polishing boots is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with polishing boots. But polishing boots, while at the same time, if he was conscious of Krishna, if he could think of Krishna, if he could think that somehow Krishna has engaged me in this service is I got by the mercy of Krishna. And if he could see the presence of Krishna in every one of his customers, then he was Krishna conscious, and then it could be yoga. See, it boils down towards our consciousness while we are performing any activity. As I said the other day, Arjun was killing people after he heard the whole Bhagavad Gita. Not heard, he understood the message of Bhagavad Gita. After that, he was engaged in warfare. He was engaged in killing of so many warriors, which he didn't want to when he started putting his doubts in front of Krishna. But once he understood the message of Krishna, he fought for the pleasure of Krishna. seeing Krishna's hand everywhere, being fully subject to Krishna. Then that warfare by the killing of by Arjuna was as good as offering arti in the temple by Brahmins, because he was doing it with full Krishna consciousness as a service to Krishna. That's why it is said that Arjun wasn't humble when he wanted to run away from war. He was humble when he fought that war, because then he understood his position and he understood Krishna's position. And he understood what he is supposed to do in this world, which is to follow the orders of Krishna. And when he wanted to run away the war, citing fake humility or compassion, that was really fake and it didn't fit him, and he wasn't considered humble at that time by acharyas. Of course, we as laymen might think, oh, he was very humble and he was very tolerant and he was very compassionate and he didn't want to fight the war. No, that's not humility. The real humility is when you try to serve Krishna properly. That is real humility. Of course, in the right mood, not thinking as ourselves as a controller and the enjoyer and the proprietor. Then that is right humility. Text 51. Karamjam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishina janma bandha vinirmukta padam gachanti anamayam. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, again the word comes buddhi yukta, and proper translates that being engaged in devotional service. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the result of work in the material world. Manish means great sages or devotees. In this way, Janma Bandha Vinirmukta. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death. And what happens? Padam Gachanti Anamyam. Where do they go? And attain the state beyond all miseries. Why beyond all miseries? What happens? What is that state? By going back to Godhead. That's why the spiritual world is called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means no kuntha. Vigat kuntha means no kuntha, means no miseries over there. Here in this material world is called a place of miseries. Like other day we explained, this material world is what? Pavarga. Like they say in Sanskrit, the Pavarga is Parishram, then Fena, foam comes out, Pa is weird, it's all futile, Vikavai, it is full of fear, and then in the end ends up in Mrityu, death. So this place is always full of fear and anxiety. The spiritual world is always Vaikuntha, no more anxiety, no more miseries. So how it happens? By engaging in devotion service to the Lord. And Prabhupada is writing in the second paragraph, owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Padam yat vipadam natesham. He quoted this verse from Bhagavad. There are dangers at every step in this material world. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that the resultant action will make them happy. For example, these days, Navratras are going on, and what do people do during Navratras? They fast, they worship Durga, which is good. There's nothing wrong in worshipping Durga, but what their aim behind worshipping Durga Devi is, give us money, give us position, give us power, and give us this, give me that, give me that, give me that. So basically, like Prabhupada is writing, trying to be happy in this material world, which actually is a place of misery. How is it going to work? They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. Even if somebody goes to Brahm Loka, miseries are still there. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and diseases, are present everywhere within the material world. Everywhere. But one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord, and thus knows the position of personality of Godhead, engages himself in the transcendental love service to the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into the Vaikuntha planets, where there is neither material, miserable life, nor the influence of time and death. So the influence of time is not there in the Vaikuntha planets, and no miseries of life. Means no more, with the passage of time, only we get old, we become, and we leave our bodies. But if there is no influence of time on bodies as such, and the place is eternal, then there are no miseries attached to the body or the mind. And Prabhupada writes, one who understanding that his position is to serve, transfers himself to the service of the Lord, at once becomes eligible for living in Vaikuntha Loka. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, or in plain words, devotional service to the Lord. That's why this devotional service is emphasized upon in Bhagavad Gita over and over again. Of course, in different terms. That's why if we read Prabhupada's purpose, we can understand what Krishna really wants. If somebody just reads this verse, Sarvajam Buddhi Yukta, he think, oh, this is Jnanis. Means Buddhi Yukta means just engage your intelligence, engage your mind in studying the scriptures and trying to understand me. In understand, can't jump. One has to do the activities with the Buddha, engaging his intelligence, which is Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna says, what will happen if one engages his intelligence in the service of Krishna? Of course, what happens is Janma Bandha Vinirmukta means he gets unentangled, he gets liberated from this cycle of birth and death. But what else happens is, Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada jantasi nirvedam shrutavyasya shrutasya cha. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Little difficult words, but with proper purpose, it's a little easy. So when your intelligence is passed out of the dense forest of delusion. So this delusion means, right now we think that's the beginning of our falling in Maya, or the beginning of the snare of Maya that catches us and captures us, keeps us bound up in this material world. So it starts with, I am this body. And then everything that is related to body is mine. And my job, my aim of life, goal of life, is to serve everybody that is related to this body. And also, the real goal of life, actually why I serve everything related to this body, because this gives me happiness. This gives me pleasure. So that is why it's called dense forest of delusion. It's difficult to find forest here in India, but if we ever get a chance to go to a dense forest where our GPS in the phone won't even work, and we have no way, don't know how to get out of here. If somebody is stuck in that kind of dense forest, how will he get out? If somebody shows up over there And he tells the person, okay, I have this light, or I can show you the path. I know the path, how to get out, so follow me and we'll get out. Actually, that's why it's called GPS. It's not Google positioning system. Actually, it's called positioning system. Guru comes and helps us get out of this dense forest. That's the GPS is rightly, the right meaning is Guru positioning. Guru can position us properly. So in this dense, why this our association, or why our thinking that I am this body, attachment with the body, dense forest, because it's so difficult to get out of this attachment, or out of this consciousness, out of this ignorance on our own, that I'm not this body. I'm a spirit soul. And my real relationship is with Krishna. Otherwise, a person, if you just, right now you are in the class, but when you go out, just look at the people all around you. Just watch them. Just notice them. What are they doing? Everybody is engaging in serving his own body and senses. That's all. That's a crux of all the events of everybody. You can see. And everybody is, and this is very dense forest. It's very dense, because person on his own, he cannot get out of this delusion. Until he finds a guru, and guru shows him the path. That's we all say, Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya. Agyan means I was born into this great ignorance. Jnananjana Shalakya. You have given me the light, you have given me the knowledge by which you have liberated me, you have helped me get out of here. And Prabhupada writes, there are many good examples in the lives of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. And thus, after this dense forest of delusion, Krishna is saying, or Prabhupada is writing in the translation, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Of course, this hearing here is for the Vedic rituals. The rituals are different tapa or austerity or charity mentioned in the Vedas. Vedas, as we studied earlier, it is said in Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature, or the activities that are involved in the three modes of material nature. So that's why Krishna is saying, you will become indifferent to all the rituals, all the methods, karma kanda methods mentioned in the Vedas. Because a person who is out of this ignorance that I am not free, he will not spend time wasting or worrying about the upkeep of the body, or how to keep the body happy, how the relationships of the body happy. He'll only be engaged in devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna, his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of certain activities. And then Prabhupada quotes a verse from Srimad Madhavendra Puri, and further he writes, when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. All these regulated principles means principles meant in all these Vedic rituals and rules, rites. He becomes indifferent because he doesn't really care for that. Of course, as a matter of respect to the Vedas, he can give respect to these rituals. But his inside is completely indifferent, completely neutral to all this, because he knows his ultimate goal is to please Krishna. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in rituals, then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. So this is the aim of one who is engaged in bhakti, that he becomes indifferent to all these rules and rituals of karma kanda. But he still follows the rules or the days of fasting or the process to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For that he is always ready. Just like tomorrow is most auspicious day of Ram Navami. So devotees would be fasting and they would be doing for the pleasure of Lord Ram. They would be chanting more rounds, they're hearing Ram Katha, doing Ram Katha. Or if somebody has deities of Lord at home, he will be doing uptake of Lord Ram. And basically the whole day he will have Ram consciousness. This is a perfect way to engage ourselves in the service of Lord Ram. So that way he would be doing his fasting or all the austerities, but not as karma kanda processes mentioned in the scriptures. For that he will be completely indifferent or neutral. I don't. Then comes last text of today's discussion. Shruti viprati panna te yada sthasyati nishala samadhava chala buddhi sada yogam vapsyasi. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. Means when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas. Means this flowery language of Vedas, as we discussed earlier also, the Vedas describe very nicely the different facilities or the different opulences that one can achieve when he reaches the heavenly planets. So Vedas recommend lots of karma kanda activities, and karma kanda activities basically the aim of karma kanda activities is to reach heaven. In the heaven, obviously there's beautiful forest, beautiful waterfalls, one lives a long life after from. Of course, from heaven point of view, it's only 100 years, but from our point of view, it could be 10,000 years. And he enjoys beautiful women, beautiful apsaras, a nice, healthy body, doesn't get disease, no more heart attacks or cancer or other problems of this material world. No traffic jams that we have to worry about here, no deadlines, no projects, nothing like that. Just enjoy every day, whole day. Enjoy drinking wine, the somras, the heavenly wine is not an intoxicant. It's just somras. Somras gives lots of strength to the body. And the body becomes strong and youthful. We don't have to even go for facial or whatever to look young, always young. We're dying of black, gray hair to make us look young, but we are not young. Or whatever we do here to enjoy. Those things are just easily available in the heavenly planet, and much more than that. So if Vedas, they speak these facilities or these opulences in the heavenly planets very, very nicely. So people get enamored by those. And that's why they do all these Vedic rituals to get to heaven. But here in 2nd chapter, Krishna is talking like this about the heavenly planets. And in 9th chapter, he says, Shine Punya Marte Loka Vishanti. Once somebody's pious, the bank balance or quota of pious activities is over, then he has to fall down back on the material, on this earthly planet again. Marte Lokam. Marte Lok is this earthly planet. So what is the point in going to the heaven and then coming back and then again working hard, again going through birth, the old age, disease, death, again going through all the miseries that we can see on the earthly planet? It doesn't make sense. This sounds like a wastage of time. And this is what Prabhupada is writing. That this, when one does not get disturbed by this flowery language of Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, when he becomes completely fixed that I want to achieve Krishna, I want to first of all know who am I, who is Krishna, what's my relationship with him, and how to revive that relationship, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. The actual aim of our life is to attain the divine consciousness. Samadhavachala, that's what the shloka says. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, to say that one is in samadhi is to say that one has fully realized Krishna consciousness. That is, one in full samadhi has realized Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. The highest perfection of self-realization is to understand that one is eternally the servitor of Krishna, and that one's only business is to discharge one's duties in Krishna consciousness. And that is actually samadhi. Samadhi is not one goes to the forest or goes to Himalayas and just sit in a cave trying to concentrate on Paramatma feature or the light or whatever they concentrate on. Actual samadhi is to understand one is eternally the servitor of Krishna, that I am eternally a servant of Krishna, and my business is to discharge services or discharge my duties in Krishna consciousness. A person in Krishna consciousness, he could be doing lots of activities. He could be sweeping the floor of the temple, or he was sweeping the floor in his own house. He could be cooking for Krishna. He could be eating Krishna prasad. He could be driving devotees or driving for Krishna. He could be fixing car for Krishna. He could be doing book distribution, or he could be doing any other activity. But if his mind is always absorbed in the service of Krishna, absorbed in the how I can please Krishna by my little service, that is actually samadhi. A Krishna conscious person or unflinching devotee of the Lord should not be disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, nor be engaged in fruitive activities for promotion to the heavenly kingdom. In Krishna consciousness, one comes directly into communion with Krishna, and thus all directions from Krishna may be understood in that transcendental state. One is sure to achieve results by such activities and attain conclusive knowledge. One has only to carry out the orders of Krishna or its representative, the spiritual master. So there ends the theme. So next time we'll start the new theme from text 54 onwards. So with tomorrow being Ram Navami, so I was thinking of many wonderful examples of this samadhi that Krishna speaks about in Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada gave wonderful examples of. That all these wonderful devotees or servants of Lord Ram, they were in samadhi. For example, if you remember the example of Shabri, Shabri was just an aborigine girl. She wasn't even born in a Brahmin family. And many years ago, she was in this hermitage ashram, and her guru and all the other disciples, they said, now it is time for us to go to the spiritual world. And Shabri was ready to go with them, but the Guruji said, no, Shabri, it's not time for you. You stay here, because one day Lord Ram will come with his brother Lakshman, and they will be looking for his wife, Sita. And when he comes here, then you serve him, and then you will be eligible to go back to the spiritual world. Shabri had full faith in the words of her Guru. So with those instructions, the Guru and all the other disciples left, but Shabri stayed back in that ashram. And she had full faith, and with full devotion, determination, conviction, humility, tolerance, everything, with all these wonderful qualities of bhakti that we speak of, and that in Bhagavad Gita, when we go further, we can see those qualities. She would, she would clean the ashram every single day, not knowing when exactly Lord Ram would come, but she had full faith in the words of a guru. And every single day she would clean the ashram very nicely, as if Lord Ram is going to come today only. And then she would go collect fresh fruits, fresh bear from the trees in the forest. And the whole day then she would sit and wait for Lord Ram to come. She was in complete samadhi. And samadhi was not just sitting in the ashram and keeping it dirty and just thinking, oh, Guruji, I don't know what he was thinking. He just left me here and Ram hasn't come. I don't know if he's going to come or not. Let me just remember Ram. No, she was serving. Mentally, she was serving Ram. And every day she would do that for years and years and years and years and years. And one day when she was really old, Lord Ram came. And Ram came and she was in so much ecstasy. She was so much in love with Ram that she, when she was feeding Lord Ram the fruits, she would taste the fruits first. Of course, and when we cook for Krishna in the temple or cook for Krishna in the house, we don't taste the food before offering, because this is one of the rules of Vedic Bhakti. But Shabri was way beyond these rules and regulations, even of Bhakti. So she would taste the fruit, and whatever fruit was sweet, she would give it to Ram with lots of love and devotion. And Ram would accept those fruits, because Lord Ram was tasting the bhakti, the dedication of Shabri. And Ram was fully satisfied by eating those fruits which are first eaten by Shabri. This is samadhi. This is real samadhi. And she pleased Lord Ram by her service, and she left for the spiritual world after Ram left for further to look for Sita. And another example of service of Ram and Samadhi is Jatayu. We talked about Jatayu the other day. Jatayu, when Sita was kidnapped by Ravan, Jatayu saw that this lady was put on the chariot, on this flying aeroplane by Ravan, and he was forcing her and forcibly taking her to Lanka. Jatayu got up in the air, and although he was old and Ravan was young, more powerful, he had more weapons, but Jatayu tried to stop Ravan, and he told Ravan, as long as I'm living, you cannot take this lady with you forcibly. And they fought. Jatayu was fighting with Ravan, but Jatayu at that time is fully engaged in the service of Sita, that I'm going to protect Sita. I don't think it is, but he was in complete service of Sita. So this was smart. Although he couldn't protect Sita, in the end, Ravan cut off his wings and let him fall on the ground and let him die, and Ravan went off. But Jatayu was in samadhi. He was serving the Lord, serving the consort of Lord Ram by his efforts to try to stop Ravan from taking Sita away. So that was samadhi. Samadhi for Jatayu was not just sitting on any tree and just chanting the names of Ram. Samadhi for him was to serve Ram by trying to stop Ravan from taking Sita away. So that is samadhi. That is real samadhi. So real samadhi means engaging ourselves, engaging our senses in the service of Krishna. We can chant Krishna's name, we can serve Krishna, we can serve Krishna's devotees, we can do thousands of activities actually, whole day. Even whatever activity we are doing at home, if we are constantly conscious of Krishna, consciously thankful to Krishna, constantly grateful to Krishna for whatever services he has done, for whatever situations he has put me in. It's his mercy. It's his love for me. We can be Krishna conscious. We can be in Samadhi. It's not a big deal. It's just we have to change our attitude, change our consciousness. In fact, it is my rendition. It's not, Prabhupada hasn't written it, but for me, Gita, the word Gita means good is the attitude. And if we have that attitude, means we have understood Bhagavad Gita. So if we have attitude of gratitude towards Krishna for putting me in this wonderful situation, whatever you have put me, with lots of love, with lots of gratefulness, thanking him, and then keep on serving him. Keep on serving the situation he has put me in. That is samadhi. That is bhakti. So I'll stop here. There's still 5-6 minutes. See if anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question which is a little silly, but I constantly face this situation. Like, we constantly hear and we know that we have to see Krishna's hand in every situation. But when we are put into real situations, I mean, though that thing hits us at the end, we are very anxious. We don't see the hand of Krishna in everything. I mean, how can we do that? I mean, even if we are chanting, whatever, we all know that we are not chanting properly. But then how can we kind of overcome that anxiousness and see that it is the hand of Krishna in every situation?
First, it's practice. We have to come to that level, and then when we chant, we read everyday Prabhupada's books, we associate with devotees. So yes, it takes time, but we start. When we get up in the morning, we pray to Krishna. We thank him. We thank him for the wonderful situations he has given us to be Krishna conscious. Nice body he has given us. Body is still working nicely. We can be thankful to him. Whole day, if we can be in that consciousness, great. If we can stop once in a while in our work throughout the day, thank him, because we want to be Krishna conscious, not just mechanically chant his holy names. Of course, that will also help, but it will not help that much. So, just like I once said this, I went to Brahma Kumaris, and they do a wonderful thing that every hour they have some kind of alarm system where every hour, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, whatever, all their followers, they stop. Whatever they're doing, they just stop for 1 minute and they listen to the message. And this keeps them conscious for next 1 hour. So at least if we can do that, at the end of the day, we pray to Krishna, thanking him again for a wonderful day that we have had, wonderful opportunities he has given us to be Krishna conscious, to be able to serve him, to be able to remember him. So slowly, when we bring in practice, put in this practice, we can slowly become Krishna conscious throughout the day. Then we would be able to see Krishna's hand in every activity that is happening with us, in every situation that is we are in. We can see Krishna's hand everywhere, and we would be thankful to him. It takes practice, yes. It's not easy. But that's what we are here for, to help each other make progress in bhakti, make progress in becoming Krishna conscious. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji.
And it wasn't a silly question, it was a very good question.
I mean, there are often so many questions that keeps on coming in the mind, but then, I start feeling that probably is it the right thing to ask, or, I mean, it'll be silly to ask. I mean, despite...
No. There are no silly questions. I might give silly answers, but there are no silly questions.
Prabhuji.
So I guess we can stop here. So thank you all very much. Have a wonderful evening. And tomorrow there's Ram Navami, so please enjoy Ram Navami. And whoever can come in the evening to promote Prabhu's house, great. Otherwise, we'll do live telecast from there also. Okay. Thank you all very
Thank
much. Have a
you.
wonderful
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
evening.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.